All right, that might not be Anthony, but this is one amazing guest. Stick around, find out what's going on.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality. Hey, everybody. Glenn Hausman here from No Vacancy Live, coming at you live from the end of the Hunter Hotels Investment Conference. And I'm sitting with myself right now, Mr. David Pepper, Chief Development Officer over at Choice Hotels International. David, so great to see you, my friend.
Great to see you, Glenn, as always.
Now, all right, Anthony will be coming along. We think at some point. I don't know what's going on. I'm here in Atlanta. I'm at this event. I'm having a great time. Who knows what he is up to? But we don't need him right now because we're going to talk a lot about what's going on. David, before we get into the whole choice thing, I think it's really important to talk about how symbolic I think that this was, right? Now, just for you guys know, David and I are across from each other. So if we're not looking directly at you in the camera, it's because we need to make eye contact with each other because, David, I miss making eye contact with people in person.
Eye contact. I finally got my hair done. I got it all set up for you today. You made me put this thing on my head.
That's right.
I'm not even looking at the camera. That's all. It's great.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. So I don't know about you, but I really felt like how amazing was this, that we're finally back. We're finally making things happen again. But more importantly, I felt like the first day, kind of like a family reunion.
It was. And it's funny. I'm on the advisory board here for the Hunter Conference. Mm-hmm. 3 weeks ago, there was 350 people signed up.
That's it?
That's it. 350 people. This week, 1,100.
That's amazing.
So
right?
It really shows you what's happening out there in the world. People want to get out. They want to see people. The people are always talking about, business travel is not happening. It's not going to come back. It's coming back.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just like this. It's great to see you. Mm-hmm. It's great to see everybody. There's a lot of hugs.
Oh my God. Was there a lot of hugs? I have not had this much human contact in 14, 15 months. It was really weird. I think speaking about the hugs, it's like at first everybody was trying to suss each other out. How do we feel? What's going to happen? And then I don't know if it wasn't combined with the cocktails coming out or something, but
I think they got done with the fist bumps. They got done with the elbow bumps. And then it was like, I'm vaccinated. I think it's the new welcome. Now is I'm vaccinated. How about you?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And, I'm double vaxxed. I'm pretty excited. You too?
Double vax, feel great. The family's, my wife's vaxxed. We're finally out, actually getting to restaurants again.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I know. It really is fantastic. All right. So definitely the first night felt like a family reunion, and it was really strange, but everyone was eating food and beverages, so the masks started coming off. And let me just underscore the important fact that, again, the Hunter Investment Conference partnered with Clear for their health pass. So everyone that was here was pre-selected. So it's not like we were being all willy-nilly and taking risks. And I think it was important to take those baby steps here. And, I think the health pass really helped set that level of confidence for people.
Yeah, it did. You felt like everyone, took the time to make sure they filled out their form. You kind of figured out that a lot of people probably were vaccinated, and you felt a little bit safer walking in. So you felt comfortable.
Exactly. All right. So what was it like for you walking in here? What were your first impressions? Were you anxious before getting here? How did it feel?
Look, we're seeing business come back already.
Yeah.
And so we're already. So I expected a lot of people to come here and be a little bit more optimistic.
Right.
And that's kind of the feeling I've gotten from everybody is, it's almost another welcome is, hey, you got through it. We're on the other side.
Yeah.
And it feels great. It feels a little bit. Someone was going to some restaurant last night. It was called The Optimist.
Mm-hmm.
It's you feel that hope. You feel like we got to the other side. Things are getting better. And so it's a real happy environment.
Yeah, it really was. So Adele, could you bring out that comment again, Suzanne, real quick? I want to read. I want to read that. 1,100. Oops, sorry, Suzanne. 1,100 people. Really makes me feel so optimistic about the quick ramp up of meetings and business travel. Excellent. This was excellent. And I'll tell you, I talked to Jeff Higley, our friend that runs the Alice conference. I spoke to Harry Javer, who runs the lodging conference, of course. They're both empowered. They're both feeling excited, and they're seeing people signing up now, sponsors coming back. Dare I say, it's starting to feel pretty normal.
Glenn, I don't know about you. I've got 10 trips already on the books.
Wow.
That are coming up.
Wow.
So you're right. Everybody wants to see each other. People are getting out. I don't know about you, but my plane was full.
Yep, same here.
It's really interesting. Hopefully this gas issue won't be a problem.
Oh my God.
I know people are having it, but hopefully we'll get through this.
My wife keeps telling me I have plenty of issues with gas, but that's for a different show. Tune into Friday Night Audit, where we joke around a lot more Friday nights at 5 p.m. But all right, David, I use the word normal, and honestly, first day family reunion yesterday, it just felt normal.
Yeah, it did. Look, there's still little things. You're right. The conferences being smart, the hotels being smart. You still have the individual packages for lunches or certain things. But I like there was a buffet.
Yeah.
At one point last night.
It was, and they just served you.
Right, and they just served you, and there was the screens up. So things are still in place. It still is a little different, but it did feel normal.
I actually kind of like the pre-done salads. You could just take the box and go. It's much easier. I didn't have to embarrass myself managing the tongs.
So some things are good.
Sometimes
It's a
very
little different.
Yeah,
but it still feels great.
Right. It sure does. So then that just takes us into the bridge of feels great to be here. For me personally, it was great because I've got some business opportunities that I think are going to be coming out of this. That's why we didn't do the show, guys, yesterday. I felt it was really important to catch up with everyone, network with everyone, make sure they knew after over a year being away from each other, we're here, we're ready to do business, we're ready to make things happen. I'm not so sure, at least, I got some business done, but overall, people are saying it wasn't necessarily business that had to get done. It was more about getting over this hump to get back to normalcy. How did you feel about it? And were you able to do both?
Honestly, it started off with great to see a bunch of people that you hadn't seen in a while, but we got down to business.
Yeah.
It's a typical Hunter conference. I sit in a meeting room the entire day, and every hour a new client comes in. We talk deals.
Yeah.
And so deals are back. People are looking for projects. Financing's opening up a little bit. So you're starting to see people looking for deals.
Yeah, that's great. So being chief development officer, now we've got a lot of pros that are on the show, but you also have some folks that are new to the business and are really at the property level working their way up, right? We're preaching what a great career opportunity is right now to be in hotels. What does a chief development officer do? I'm going to pretend I don't know for a minute or two.
I just sit around and watch people do things. No, look,
he's not lying.
Look, at Choice Hotels, we have 7,000 hotels.
Right.
You didn't get the 7,000 with just sitting there, right? And so I run a franchise sales team that half my group, they go out, they look for hotels that are looking for a new brand. Or an independent hotel looking for a brand, and my group goes out and signs them up and signs them to a franchise agreement. Or also someone's looking to build a hotel, and we work with developers to find sites, find markets, and then we sell them the franchise, and they get the prototype drawings, they get the reservation system, the marketing, and so we're out there selling franchise.
But it's also much more than that. It's about creating long-lasting relationships. I mean, you've been in this business, I think, a little bit longer than I have. I've been in 25 plus years.
I hit 30 years in March.
Wow.
30 years in March. And it was someone asked me the question that said, what has changed in development over the 30 years? And I said, I'll tell you what hasn't.
Right.
Relationships.
Yep.
It's still, no matter what it is. I mean, Glenn, I've known you for a long time. And it will always be like, someone needs somebody for a conference, someone call Glenn. It's because we know each other.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's that trust factor. Look, franchise agreements are for 20 years.
That's a long time.
They last longer than a couple marriages, I know.
Yeah.
And so it's
more than a couple that you know.
So it's a friendship, it's a relationship, and it's a trust factor. And so it's this whole business is all about relationships.
Right. Yeah, it absolutely is. So you've got a lot of brands. You're out there. What was this last year like for you? Just, I don't want to dwell in bleh. I really want to focus on going forward and how positive things are. But let's set the stage a little bit from where we were then to, codify where we are now.
Look, last year we still sold over 400 franchises last year.
That sounds like a huge number. But what was it the year before?
The year before was 725.
Right. Okay.
Right. So it was significantly down, but still 400 franchises.
When you consider pretty much everything came to a halt for months right at the onset, right?
Right. And so, look, we were very focused on our franchisees first. Let's get our franchisees through this thing. But business was still, people were looking for help. And look, Choice is very leisurely skewed with our guests. And so what the only business that was out there last year and a lot of this year still is leisure focused.
Right.
So people needed help.
Right.
So they were still coming to us. The other thing too, Glenn, is 25% of those franchises sold were extended stay.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me at all. And I remember at Alice 2020, you were talking a brand new extended stay product.
2020, you're right. Wasn't that a great time to launch a new construction brand?
It was. If the world didn't come to an end and all like that. But you were there. You were at you're really following that momentum. I know some other brands that are now trying to get into it, but at least you had the product there. And I just did a video on that recently, so you can check that under our No Vacancy News Today feed if you want to catch that. But we're going to talk a little bit about that now. How do you feel now, over a year later, that you made that move back in 2020?
I got to tell you, it was, I can't believe how smart we were.
Mm-hmm.
It's making us look smart. Look, we really proved out, and not just us, but the segment really proved out extended stay works.
Yep.
And look, we're already outperforming 2019 with our extended stay brands.
Yeah, of course you are.
So it really did prove out, and now people want they want a bigger room. They want the ability to heat things up back at their room.
Yeah. David, I've been preaching this for over a decade, man.
And really, no one had launched a brand in the mid-scale segment. We're talking about Everhome.
Right, of course. Yeah, sorry about that. I want everybody to know that ramping up for this conference and going through the conference has been, I've never been more tired at a conference by drinking as little as I have and going to bed at as reasonable hours I have.
I've seen a lot of hungover faces around here, actually.
Right. It's almost kind of like we're all pros. We've done this a gajillion times, right? But it almost feels like one of your brand conferences where the GMs are unleashed for one night. They make a lot of mistakes. Right?
I mean, I know everyone has been drinking during COVID, but they haven't been convention drinking.
This is a totally different animal. I tried to stay away from that. Yet I'm still tired. Yet I'm forgetting names. So tell us a little more about
Everhome Suite. So it was literally, it's the first mid-scale extended stay brand's been launched in over a decade.
That's crazy.
So no one's really tapping into the space. And so look, we've shown Wood Spring Suites, our economy extended stay, is performing so well. Around 80% occupancy as a brand, and no one has gone for that a little bit higher of a rate. And there's so much of that extended stay hotels. We found out a lot of those mid-scale extended stay guests were staying at our Comfort Inn. So let's get the product right. And so we launched Everhome Suites. Now look, developers have seen how well extended stay has performed. Lenders have seen how well it's performed. So now everybody's we got a lot of interest. We had a dinner last night with 20 people.
Did you?
Yeah. 20 people interested in Everhome and Wood Spring.
I just want to point out it should have been 21, but I didn't get an invite. I'm just kidding. I can't handle those kinds of dinners at all because I always get stuck next to the wrong person. I have to be engaged for 3 hours and it's exhausting.
You can talk to anybody.
I know, but I really, honestly, my routine for conferences, I really just like going from event to event to event. I've mastered the in and out conversation.
It's kind of nice,
right? Yeah, exactly. So Everhome's going to do really well, I think, going forward. But we're really I've been calling it this last year, this great reset, a chance to reevaluate absolutely everything we do. Nothing is sacrosanct anymore. All the rules are off, whatever kind of cliches that you want to say about this. I have a feeling that you're going to be learning some lessons from the extended stay world and being able to apply some of those philosophies potentially to some of your other brands. Am I right about that?
No, you absolutely are. Look, we were very, very focused, even before this pandemic hit, was how do we lower the total cost of ownership for the owners? It has gotten very, very expensive for owners to operate hotels.
Right.
You got our OTA partners. Yeah. There's commissions. There's keyword buys. I mean, it's expensive. And so we were looking, how do we lower the cost for our owners?
Right.
And one of the things the pandemic did do, which was one of the ideas we were working on, was housekeeping on demand.
Right.
If you're staying in a hotel for 3 or 4 days, look at all your technology here. Do you really want someone in your room?
David, I don't. And honestly, this is one of those trends. I've said this before, that we're in infancy prior to the pandemic. There's nothing brand new necessarily that's going to come out of this. It's all about accelerating trends were there. Exactly. When I'm at my events, anecdotally, my crew that I go around with at all of these conferences, nobody wants anybody in their room.
Nobody, right? So you have your technology. And then second, now with the pandemic, it was cleaned. You don't want anybody else in that room, right? So now you got this housekeeping on demand. That should hopefully lower some labor costs, lower even cleaning costs, right? If you're not washing sheets every day or you're not. That's right. That was from extended stay. Those hotels, you only clean the room once every week or once every 2 weeks.
Right. And So I'm just going to be very straightforward with figuring out the numbers. Not the numbers, but you don't have to pay someone to clean the room. You don't have to pay for the chemicals to wash the sheet. You get it then for every time you don't wash that sheet, it can be washed one more time in the future, extending the longevity of that product.
Environmental.
And you're finally doing it in a way that appeals to the consumers, as opposed to how some brands made missteps to make it feel like you were taking away as opposed to adding to.
Exactly.
Right.
So here's a great opportunity to save some cost. There's one. And what you and I have discussed this before.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast, right? These those extended stay guests, they don't want to have breakfast, right?
Right.
They're either cooking it themselves or they're going out. You know, look, and we talked about this before. When I started 30 years ago, I sold Holiday Express. It was a muffin and coffee.
That's right. I've done a lot of crazy muffin coffee talks in the last couple of days.
Right. It was a muffin and coffee. Now it's 30 items. You got hot items. You got cold items. Now with this pandemic, people don't want the buffets.
Right.
Right. They want to individually wrapped, maybe a breakfast sandwich, maybe a yogurt. That's really kind of it. So maybe we have some opportunities here to really kind of lower the whole breakfast.
I
standards
hope
as well.
so. My biggest fear is, and so everybody knows, owners really would like to reduce the cost of breakfast. It's really been very onerous on them, as all the brands have kind of had breakfast wars. Everybody adding and adding and adding. It's the worst place of amenity creep I've seen.
It has. I mean, look, if you drive down I-95 and look at the all the billboards for hotels, what does it say? Hot breakfast.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changed from we have a great room, clean bed.
Right.
So yeah, this breakfast war has gone a little bit too far, and this is an opportunity to pull back on it. Look, these owners, they're saving $40,000-$50,000 by not doing breakfast right now. I mean, this is a huge savings for the owners. It could really create some real profit for them.
Right. Yeah. And also, our producer Suzanne is saying behind the scenes, also less demand on the front office team, right? I mean, the extended stay model is great. I don't know exactly how many people the Everhome is designed for, but it's like what, 1/3 or something.
So
like that?
in a Woodspring Suites, the amount of FTDs are about 6.
Yeah. Right. That's ridiculous.
6.
Yeah.
To operate the asset, the Woodspring, the Everhome model will probably be around 10. But again, it's a lot less to operate these things. And you're right. If you don't have a breakfast attendant,
right?
You have someone cleaning and or heating things up. Plus, also the space can be a lot smaller.
Yep.
So there's real opportunities there. Not only think about it, if you can, the development cost. We can change our prototype and make it a little bit smaller for some of these spaces as well.
Yeah.
Another opportunity for returns.
So we'll get to a new prototype in just a minute, but I do want to stick with you only introduced Everhome like a year ago. Are you already learning lessons that could be applied to new models?
Yes. So we just built a model room. It's in Wichita, Kansas, if you want to go see it.
Well, that makes sense because that's where Woodspring originally came from, which is originally called Value Place, created by the late great Jack DeBoer. So interesting that you're building it out there.
Right, so we built it out there. There's a great facility, fulfillment, that's out there, and we built it. We've already learned, the spacing in the room. We took out $7,500 out of the room.
Wow.
So just there, we've already learned. So now we've got to get them open. We've already got people signing up these area agreements where they want to build multiple Everhomes, and so
right. Oh, and just in case anybody doesn't know, FTE is a full-time employee.
Sorry about
that. No, not your fault. I'm usually good at doing all of the defining things. Not today. I've got this happy hangover.
It's the end of the conference.
Yeah, right. But not just the end of the conference. I'm actually just so imbued with such excitement about being here that that we're missing some little things, but that's okay, everybody. All right. So you're selling Everhomes?
Everhomes are definitely a lot of people have signed up already to go out and build these Everhomes. And what we did, we sold these master development agreements where we'll sell like Los Angeles. So if someone owns LA, they'll go out and build 10 hotels in 3 years or so,
right?
But they own the rights to it, so we're not just selling this individual. We're not typically just selling this individual.
That's interesting.
Hotels.
Well, I hope that works for you. Fingers crossed. But I mean, based on the Woodspring, from what I knew about them prior to your acquisition, they were just making boatloads of money for people. Confident they still are. Now that you've put all your systems behind it, they're probably even more profitable. But what I liked about that brand was it was a lot of people that weren't traditional hotel developers had gotten in. That's got to help you for opening up new people to get into other brands such as Comfort, which you just came out with a brand new prototype. Badass move, man.
Yes.
The first new prototype post-pandemic. When that happened, I was like, confidence is back.
Things are back, right?
Yeah.
So we spent the last, after the last recession, we spent a lot of money and a lot of effort on re-imaging Comfort. Really brought that brand back.
Right.
We removed over 600 hotels from the Comfort system. And we're back out, and going back and replacing. We really cleaned up the brand. And also we invested in our franchisees to do product improvement plans to fix up their assets, to do renovations. It's the only time you ever heard of a franchisor actually investing in the franchisee to help them improve their product.
Yeah.
So we did that. We cleaned up the system. Now we're back growing again. You saw we just announced our earnings last week. You're now seeing Comfort is growing again. We needed a new prototype.
Yeah.
And it's a great new prototype. I don't know how we were so smart enough. We were going to launch this a little while ago, but pandemic thing.
Yeah, totally.
But we did actually launch, like the lobby actually has an indoor-outdoor space.
Yes.
And everybody's looking for that outdoor space now.
But they were before too. To bring it back
more.
to the point, accelerating the trends, we're just going to see more of that. Yeah. It's amazing it took hotels so long to catch on to the fact that we all actually want to be inside and outside.
Right. And it looks great from the outside too. It's not just your typical hotel where you have a car that's pulled up to the front door.
Yeah.
It's a really great looking space. We really reduced the square footage of the building. Everything was based on return on investment for the owner.
Yeah.
We said we want to be this type of return for them. This is what we think the RevPAR is. This is how much it's got to cost to build it. And that's what we did.
And what's that outdoor space experience going to be like for people?
So it's great. We actually built this fireplace. It goes indoor, outdoor fireplace. It's got great lighting. And it'll be a nice space to sit outside and eat or just to hang out at night.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I love that you're so enthusiastic about it. I love that you came out. Then a competitor's brand came out with a new prototype for one of their brands, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And I'm very energized and excited about where we're going to be headed from here. But back to what you guys are on. You got a lot of brands out there. How many is it now?
12, 13.
Any other updates you want to share about what's going on with the rest of the organization?
Look, and look, we know right now, about 80% of what we did in the first quarter was conversions in regards to our new franchise sales.
Yep.
And so, we launched Clarion Point 2 years ago, which is, there isn't too many upper mid-scale conversion brands that are out there.
That's right.
We just opened up our 30th Clarion Point.
Nice. Congratulations.
And it's really going terrific. Conversion. So really good conversion brands, quality in, and then obviously those brands are performing. Right. During this, it's right now we have the leisure travel. They're going to these type of assets and economy segment. Econo Lodge and Roadway. These assets they're performing up to 2019 levels already.
Yeah, and let me say, I think one of my favorite brands is Cambria. I've been there since I've been around long enough to have been there when you opened the first one, and I was blessed enough to be in Anaheim for the opening of the 50th one just before everything hit the wall and the fan.
Your hair didn't have any gray.
It had some, but it was I was able to hide it. I don't know what happened. I totally forgot to get a haircut. Now I'm just totally grayed out.
Yeah, no, upscale is doing really well for us again. It's Ascend. We just hit our 200th Ascend property.
That's amazing. This is where I have to tell everybody they were the first soft brand ever to come out in the market. Don't let the other companies claim that.
Don't let them claim that. Because it's these nice boutique or independent hotels. They don't want a brand. They just want they first of all they want the reservation system, they want the marketing, they want the loyalty program.
Right.
What no one ever really talks about is the cost savings.
Right.
It's our OTA partners. We got better commission rate with so it can help them lower their costs there. Purchasing, buying bedspreads, buying soap, buying shampoo, linens. There's a lot of savings that go into. I mean, can you imagine being an independent hotel and you have to go out and buy keyword buys versus all the other competitors that are out there?
Right. You go broke.
You can do those things, or revenue management. So we're seeing a lot of interest for, especially these urban hotels that they got hurt. They got hurt. They don't have the conventions back, right? And they don't have the international traveler back. So they're looking for help. And so that's why Ascend's really taking off right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are looking for that.
So where are you at with Cambria right now? Because you had such momentum, and my biggest worry is that, you hit a big speed bump.
No, I'll tell you, it's still going. We're still opening assets. It's such a great looking product. Everyone really loves it. And I'll tell you what happened also during this whole thing is that, we've gained so much RevPAR index share that people are looking at Cambria. We're still opening hotels. I think we have 20 hotels that are under construction today. So we're still moving forward.
I just love that you've really defined what that brand is, what it really wanted to be. So we're taking a look right now on your screen. That's the new Comfort prototype. Yes.
Yep. And we have 3 different interiors. So it's not just one color scheme. It really is going to fit whatever market you're in. And we have 3 different color palettes for you to choose.
That's excellent. Thanks for the picture, Suzanne. We appreciate that. So what else is going on with you guys? How have you really thought about reinventing yourselves to come out of this leaner, stronger, meaner, more successful?
Yeah. Look, we all had to go through, layoffs.
Of course, right.
We all had to go and so, but we didn't cut in the spaces that really helped the owner. Right, we're still investing in global sales, trying to drive room nights.
Yeah,
and look, we were lucky during the pandemic. We were the only ones that were answering the phone,
Yeah.
and so we were able to get a lot of it. So we're really focused again on this total cost of ownership for the owner, trying to drive business to them.
Yeah, well, that's really the way to
That's
do
the way
it.
it should be, right?
How are you feeling about going forward? We can talk about all the industry numbers. I've always said that they're really irrelevant. It's such a street corner game, fun to talk about, kind of like sports, but it doesn't really necessarily mean what's going to be to your property. I'm hearing the stats people say 24, 25. I call BS on that. I think overall the number's going to be back way sooner than that.
Again, great example of this conference.
Yeah.
350 people 3 weeks ago, 1,100 today.
Right.
It's really, I think it's going to be surprising a lot of people how quick this is coming back.
It's not going to surprise me because
you are the optimist.
I am the optimist. And I've been saying throughout this whole thing, man, that it's going to come back. It'll come roaring back. Anthony, every day it's going to be like the roaring 20s all over again.
And I don't want to hear that business travel is not coming back.
That's BS.
It's total BS. And it's, people are like, well, but people aren't all going back to the office. Well, just because the tech guy that usually sits in a dark room anyway is now working from home, and I'm still going to Apple to go have a meeting.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not like that's going to change anything about business travel.
Right. And, I keep hearing, oh, well, people are not going to travel for business. They're just going to get deals done on Zoom. Yeah, but one guy from one company is going to say, I want to go in person, and then every other company is going to have to follow.
It's the same thing, too. Look, and don't get me wrong, I think business travel is not going to come fully back the way it was, but it's not going to be the destination that people thought, or what Bill Gates says about, Bill
travel. Gates is biased because he wants to sell teams.
Right, exactly. Exactly. But it's now that we're all coming back into the office, and when there's everybody in a meeting room and you're on Zoom, you're going to want to be in that meeting room.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. So we got some good news that I just saw on LinkedIn before we went on air. MGM Resorts' Las Vegas Strip casinos approved for full capacity with no social distancing restrictions. Right now, I don't want to get into talking about Vegas, how awesome Vegas is, but this is very symbolic, I think, of where we're headed. How do you react to hearing that?
I think it's great. Yeah. Look, I don't want to be the hotel guy, like, oh, everything's going to be great for the hotel stuff. It's great. That is great to hear. Yeah. And it does show people are coming back. People are getting vaccinated. Please go get your vaccination.
Yes.
And when you do, we can get to this herd immunity. People are dying to see each other, and people are dying to go out and do those experiences. That's, people were done buying just product. They wanted the experiences, and they're going to get back out. And do it again.
Which brings us back to all the crazy hugging that we saw yesterday, right? I mean, it was so.
It went quick. It went quick from elbow bumping to hugging.
It was so nice, and all the hugs were like really. I said family reunion at the beginning, like long lost friends. Usually it's like pat, hey, but this was like bring it in. Yeah. Let's hug it out, kind of a thing.
To see you. Yeah, it's been a year. I mean, it's been enough.
Yeah, it has been enough. Anything else that you want to talk about today?
Other than that, where are you going to next?
I am stoked, David. I'm going to be home for a few weeks, getting ready for the summer season, but we've gotten invited to the opening of Resorts World in Las Vegas. So we're going to do a whole week of shows in Vegas. We're going to go to the Virgin. We're going to go to a couple of other properties, and then wind up in Resorts World for the grand opening. And then I hope to do my Friday night audit show the day after from the poolside. I think that'll be freaking cool. I'll be at Alice in July. I know you'll be there.
I'll be there right next year.
AHOA in August.
You got lodging conference. You got NYU coming.
Yep.
New York's finally opening up.
Yep.
I mean, that was our big fear, was these cities where they're going to open things up.
Yeah.
Love hearing what's going on.
David, I was we did a couple of shows from the Mark Hotel in New York City last week, I think it was. God, the days are really blending together. And I stayed at I had to stay elsewhere because the Mark Hotel was so busy they couldn't accommodate me, right? So fortunately, we made some friends with the good folks over at the Marriott Marquis, and they hooked me up over there. And walking around Times Square, it just felt back. And believe it or not, now that something was legalized, everybody was hanging out and partying in Times Square as well, doing that.
Smell it everywhere.
But you did beforehand. Like, you can never walk down the streets without seeing it. But now everybody is like, hey, Now let's do it. Let's have some fun. Everybody wants to find you, David. How could we learn more about Choice Hotels? I know you got to go to choicehotelsdevelopment.com, right?
Choicehotelsdevelopment.com, choicehotels.com. Come see us. We love to talk. Things are happening.
Yep.
Things are happening. Hotels are for sale. Hotel valuations are coming back. Lending's opening up, and the business is coming back too. So.
Yep. Yeah, I can't believe it. You going on a family vacation this summer?
I just got back. We did spring break in Park City.
Oh, good for you.
Which was great. Of course, my daughter fractured her arm on the second day.
Oh,
unbelievable though! In 20 minutes, we saw 3 fractures and a blown out knee while she was getting.
Holy cow! Yeah. Well, this is why I don't go to ski resorts. Yeah. I would be dead, you know.
But and then look, my kids are going back to camp this summer, so
that's awesome.
Things are back, and it's so great for them. It's so great for everybody. Get your kids back out. They got to get. They've been stuck inside for way too long.
I'm a little worried from the parenting side that they've just become attached to their computers, and it's going to be very difficult to get them to be mainstream.
Now these camps are opening up. Get them out.
Yeah, I know. Believe it or not, my kids are 17 now, so I think I got to get them a job this summer. Maybe, hey, folks over at Uncle Giuseppe's, hire my kids,
right.
Well,
mine's still a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So they're almost up.
Yeah. It must have been much harder on you with them at home. For me, with the kids at home, they were happy to be there. It worked out okay for them, generally speaking.
Yeah, no, my kids, it was great. Look, the whole family thing was amazing.
It was definitely an unexpected blessing to this whole thing.
Look, you know how much you and I travel.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to be home, it was great to be with my wife, Jeanette, for a year. To help out and actually get the kids from school or get them a hockey practice or things like that.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. But now it's
I felt like a real dad instead of a divorced dad who comes in on the weekends.
Yeah.
Right.
It was nice. It was when my son says another family dinner.
Right. Yeah.
I took it as a badge of honor.
Yeah, absolutely. We made that a real centerpiece of our last year. And I cook dinner every night. We get together and we have a real meaningful time with each other before they vanish on the computers again. Yeah. All right, everybody. Choice Hotels Development. David, so great to see you here today.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back on the road and get back to our old way of doing things. But better, leaner, meaner, more opportunities out there are going to happen than ever before. It's just a matter for all of you guys to recognize that and take advantage of it. All right, everybody, remember, sign up to our newsletter. Text the word hotel to 66866. Follow us on, please subscribe to YouTube. I'm trying to build that thing, right? That'd be really helpful. Getting great views on LinkedIn, great views on Facebook, but let's make this YouTube thing happen as well. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Remember, you've only got one life, so blaze on. And as Anthony would say, take care of yourself.